Okay, the first chakra that most people talk about is the root chakra. The color that is reference to it is red. And the energy surrounding that is very much in the real world. It's often related to sexuality, but it's basically our base needs. Hunger, appetites, desire, sex. And when we are operating from the root chakra, we are most solidly close to the ground, to where we are here in our physical selves. It's hard to not be in your body when you're operating from the root chakra. I imagine some people might be able to do it, but I can't even imagine it. The root chakra is a powerful force in connecting with people. If we use it appropriately, we can get people to feel akin with us. Inappropriately or in a different manner, because there isn't a right or wrong or good or bad, there just is different ways of being. We can get people to fall in love with us, to desire us and not even know why. It's a very powerful energy, but it's raw, it's animal, it's natural. It's not evolved. And so when we use it, we can just go with it, just have whatever happens, happen. Or we can actually direct it towards something. Let me think. Okay, for example, someone of the opposite sex wants to sell you something, but they're sort of flirting with you. They're using their animal magnetism, which is the root chakra, to try to move you in a certain direction. And we can be aware of that and stop it right there, but you're going to feel that block, or you can play with it. And it can make things very interesting without even, like really getting involved with the person. Just that emotional interaction, connection could be juicy, alive, vibrant, and thereby very enjoyable. Very often when high-level negotiations are occurring, they're operating partly from that chakra, probably also from the solar plexus, and there's going to be a combination of them, but there's going to be some of that there, that animal power. And so that's the root chakra. The second chakra, people often call the navel chakra. The chakra's color, or referenced by orange, is a more nervous energy, and thereby is associated with creativity. When it's used properly, it opens up our creativity and expression. When used, and again, no right, wrong, good, bad, differently, it could be about survival. And so that creativity and being able to survive when we are scared and we don't know what to do, that thing that causes us to run or to zig or zag comes from that second chakra, that creative base. That is, I honestly believe that part of our living life is about our expression, and that in order to really live, that part of that is to express however it is that we're supposed to express. Now, the obvious ones are the artists. They paint and they sing and they write and they do what they do, and that all comes from that second chakra, and they're driven to it. They live to express. because it's that second chakra has to do with that type of thing related to survival. So they must do it. Some people will get it tangled up with their subsistence, their money. And when done effectively, it could create a lot of wealth. But sometimes with so much drive that it is at the detriment of other aspects of a person's life. As in everything, we need to strive for balance. But there is great power in that second chakra, in being able to be creative to something, whether it's just to express or it's to create, to literally make something tangible, whether it's a work of art or increase our bank account. That's the second chakra. The third chakra is commonly known as the solar plexus. That tends to be associated with the color yellow and or gold. The solar plexus in martial arts is referred to as the root of chi, where the life force energy comes from there. This is where we create. And when we combine it with other chakras, we'll color what it is we create. Some people will operate from the solar plexus chakra only, and those are the people who seem to get stuck on the gerbil wheel. Work, 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 work. Or they'll get in their head. They'll work up here. When the solar plexus chakra is overworked, it'll get bigger than the other chakras, and it can often be to the detriment of our balance. So I can understand people wanting it to be big because they feel that way they'll be successful. But again, we need to strive for balance. And so overworking that solar plexus chakra is not always the best thing for us overall. It could get us through starting a company. It can get us through buying a house. It could get us through building something. But you always want to keep check on it so that it doesn't override the rest of us, and so that we have that gentle flow of energy that creates peace and fulfillment and tranquility. Because the fulfillment that comes from the solar plexus chakra can sometimes be fleeting. It's winning the game, it's winning the success, it's winning the deal. But then what? And so we want to build that, but we don't want to have it be at the detriment of other aspects in our lives. One of the things that I've noticed when I work with people is that part of strengthening the solar plexus chakra and really being able to be effective with it is often supported by the whole core, like physically strengthening your core. I find that people are happier and more balanced when they do that. And they tend not to do the overemphasis of wealth over something else. The heart chakra, I feel, is one of the most important chakras. And it is where we connect ourselves to ourselves, but also ourselves to the world. And anyone who thinks that they can operate in a vacuum, that they don't have to be in relationship with people, that they don't need friends, that they don't need connection, is fooling themselves. And it's going to make for a very weak or shallow heart chakra. The fourth chakra, the color that's associated with it is green. And I see it as a bright, lit emerald green. It is also a chakra that's very often used by people in metaphysics or healers to bring forth that healing energy. When we work with our chakras, what we do is we bring the energy from source, somehow, whether consciously or unconsciously. We bring it down into the operating chakra, whether it's the root, the navel, the solar plexus, the heart, even the throat. But the heart chakra, when we bring that energy down and we move it in there, we can turn it or we can spin it or however it is, and everybody's different, by the way. There is no one proper way. It's what works for you, and you have to practice it to find out what your way is. When you spin that energy in there, it's as if it's in a generator, and it increases that energy so that we can put it out into the world, so that we can share it with our loved ones, so that we can connect with people. And by the way, when we connect with people, that energy comes back to us, and that's when we feel that warm, fuzzy feeling. That's the heart chakra. The heart chakra can also combine with other chakras. So if we have a love of our work, for example, and we combine it with the solar plexus chakra, we can create great success and great happiness together and have our work be something that we love and that we really enjoy and it's wonderful. Or a project. Or we can combine it, of course, with the root chakra and create some pretty amazing experiences. So the heart chakra for me is one of the most important and really needs to be cared for, kept clean, kept open, so that we can experience life fully and connect with all those people and places and things. And truly experience life, truly be connected. Unfortunately, language is limited in how to explain that. But it's that warmth, sometimes that fire that lights us up. I've seen it when people are talking about their sport, and they talk about when they're in the throes of the activity and they light up. That's actually coming from here. And possibly other chakras, but really that beautiful lit up comes from their love of it, and so it's combined with the heart chakra. I hope I explained that so that you can use that. So that's the heart chakra. The throat chakra. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth chakra, the throat chakra, is associated with the color blue. When I see it, I see a beautiful, bright lapis. And lapis blue, for me anyway, when I first practiced astral projection, that was the first place I came out of. And I'm moved by it because it was truly an amazing experience. But the throat chakra is all about expression and communication. And so when we combine it with our heart chakra, we can express and communicate and connect beautifully with people. When we add in the solar plexus, we can enroll people to something greater. That's when we can sell something. But really, we're not selling anything. What we're doing is we're enrolling people in a concept or an idea. And it's in combining these energies and learning how to do that fluidly that we're able to move from one thing to the next and make it seem effortless. When people get blocked in their throat chakra, all kinds of things can happen. They can cough and they can have difficulties breathing or difficulties swallowing, and it's all about not being willing or not being able or being afraid to communicate openly, or not feeling safe communicating openly. And we should be in check of all of that, so that when you're around someone that you feel safe with and you feel a kinship with, you can talk about anything, and you're open and aware, and information goes back and forth, and it's lovely. It's a lovely experience. But when you're with someone that you don't feel safe with, take note. You're going to feel uncomfortable about what you're saying. You're going to feel unsure about yourself. You want to look at why. What is that? Not them, you. There's something about them that's triggering something in you. And it behooves you to look at what that is, so that you can do something with that. Whether it's to just acknowledge it, or to actually see what's really behind that. What's the fear that you have behind that? What are you worried about? Are you afraid of not looking good? Are you afraid of looking stupid? Are you afraid that you're going to put your foot in your mouth? Are you afraid that they're going to think badly of you? What is that? And then start working on that. The throat chakra, I have found, is very powerful in being able to address what's really going on with us, because it's only with other people that we learn about ourselves. And one of the main ways that we relate with other people is through communication. So therefore, the throat chakra is immensely useful in our being able to not just communicate and connect, but to learn and grow ourselves. That's the throat chakra. The third eye is the next commonly spoken of chakra. I actually deal with other chakras, and I'm going to mention this one as important. It's the ajna, and it's right between the brows, and that has often been called the chairman of the board of the chakras. And for healing purposes, when you want to open yourself to healing, you want to tap that chakra. But let's go to the third eye. And the color that's associated with that one, and it's right here in the middle of the forehead, is a purple or lavender color. That chakra is our intuition, but it's not where we're tapped into source, really. That's the next chakra. That is where we see, we hear, we capt that information. So some people will hear something. I hear stuff all the time. So it's coming from this place. Some people will actually get a vision of something. Some people will have a dream, a gut feeling. You may feel it down here or here, but really it's coming through this. This is where we see. This is where the experience comes from. And where we feel it tells us something about how we're wired. So if you're feeling it down here, it's probably fear, because you've got some survival thing about that. Many people in business will get a gut feeling right here in the solar plexus. For example, they'll know when a contract isn't right or the deal's going south before anybody else knows about it, or they'll know which way the market's going, and they have that feeling right here in the solar plexus. They're not thinking that they're psychic, but that's what that is. It's coming from the third eye, the intuitive sense, and they're feeling it here. The third eye, when blocked, cause us to feel foggy, lost, dejected, confused, lonely, afraid, and even cause us to shut ourselves down or alienate ourselves. People who become hermits sometimes have internalized the third eye. They're not wanting to open to this world. They're stuck inside their head to something else. So keeping that open to some degree is helpful for us in maintaining balance. Again, that word balance. That's the third eye. The crown chakra, very important chakra, because that's where we open up to source. Now, some people think that they need to meditate standing up or sitting up, and that's fine, and you want to keep your spine straight. That's helpful because you want to align your chakras. But I do a lot of my meditating lying down. So we're on a globe. We think heaven or source or spirit is up there, that we're down here, that the energy goes into the earth. Yes, it does. But if you want to lay down meditating, you can bring the source energy in through your crown, bring it down to your root, and bring it down into the earth. That works just fine, in case anybody is asking. The crown chakra. I have seen the general populace, at least the way my teacher, Stephen Coe, from Pranic Healing, Your Hands Can Heal, he was the author, said that the normal person's opening to source is like a hair or a thread. And as we open ourselves up to source or to spirit, it opens up wider. And that people who are spiritually evolved may have a huge opening. And people like monks or spiritual leaders, sometimes their opening is broad. There are texts that talk about this opening that looks like little tongues of fire that go across for several feet. I haven't seen that, but I can tell you that some of the more awake people, like Master Chakra Sui, definitely had a very bright opening and had a very lovely connection to source. I try to clean all my chakras daily. Don't always do it, but my commitment is to try to do that at least every other day, if not every single day. Because as we operate in the world, things can get in the way of that. We've got EMF rays, we've got telephones, computers, wires, all kinds of things that has energy that could shift us, affect us in some way or another. And so by keeping ourselves clear and clean, we can affect not just how we operate, not just how we feel emotionally, but our actual physical bodies will be affected in a positive manner by maintaining our chakras balanced. The crown chakra, again, very important so that we get what we need to get, our connectedness, our openness, so that we can be our fullest, grandest self. I often talk about our being spiritual beings experiencing a physical experience. These are vehicles we're in. And I'm not the only one that says this. It's all over the place now. This is not new information. But the thing about it we need to take into account is that in order for us to truly be open and happy and let go of the things that get in our way, like looking good, like insecurity, like doubts and fears, when we maintain our chakras in balance, it's easier to stay what I call above the line, which is hope, joy, love, and all the positive emotions. And so that's why it's important to understand the workings of our chakras so that we can live our happiest, healthiest, most productive lives.